Well, welcome back to the channel. Here we are again, just warming the bike up as I always do, just before setting off. Just wanted to show you this. Leaves, yeah, autumn definitely setting in. It's all very depressing, isn't it? The summer's finished. No, it's not. We're going to keep riding and keep enjoying our bikes, aren't we? So, yes, time to jump aboard and see what today brings. Going to have a little chat today about, I think, Moto Guzzi, among other things. I'll see you down the road. Yes, well, thanks for joining me again. And I've had a bit of a strange week, to be quite honest. Very strange. Bit worrying. Just have a quick chat about what's been happening with me personally. I'm going to make light of it. I think it's just one of those things, to be honest. But anyway, I've got a job which I go to in the evenings. I won't go any further into it. Don't want to bore you. Oh, hold on a moment. What's going on here? Oh, it's a skip delivery. No problem. Yeah, I've got a job that I go into. So last week, off I go. It was a Monday, and I started my job. All good. Yeah, so I went in and started work, and I'd been there about an hour and a half, something like that. And it's quite a big place in which I work, so you don't meet everyone who's there. I mean, you can go an entire shift and you don't even meet some people that were actually there on the day, because it's quite a big site. And the chap came down and I went, "Hi, how are you?" "Hi," he said. "Hi Dave, you alright?" Yeah. He said, "You know you're on holiday this week, and do you know that moment when your brain just goes blank?" I said, "I'm not. Don't be silly." "I think you are," he said. "Yeah, because I was doing the rotors earlier and I happened to look and I thought, oh, we haven't got Dave this week." Of course, anyway, it turned out that he was absolutely right. And I'd turned up, completely forgotten the fact that I was on holiday. So that was situation number one, and the week actually turned out to have, it was a really nice weather that week, so it turned out to be excellent. Funnily enough, on the way to work on that Monday, I was actually thinking, I wish I'd booked this week off. It looks like it's going to be lovely. So that was incident number one. Yes, and then so I enjoyed the rest of the week. I got to Saturday, woke up Saturday morning. Now, I never usually go out on Saturdays on the bike. I usually go out during the week. Saturday's a bit busy. My mates don't go out either, they're the same. So on Saturday I usually have a different sort of routine. So I got up in the morning, usual routine, had my coffee, breakfast, blah blah blah. Got to about 12 o'clock, got a text through from someone saying, "How you doing, alright? Enjoy your bike ride today?" I said, No, I never go out on weekends, but you know that." And the text came back, "It's Friday today though." Yes, I'd gone the entire morning thinking it was Saturday, and it was actually Friday. Yeah, so, oh God, just got smacked in the face then with a leaf off that tree. So yes, the two incidents together did make me think, oh dear. But anyway, I've just put it down to the fact that I live on my own, so I haven't got anybody to remind me, and I haven't got any real reason to look at times or dates or days or anything, because I only work in the evenings. I just get up in the morning and just carry on, really. I don't have anything to plan. So it does tend to make you a little bit wishy-washy, should we say. So there we go, that's me. We'll see how that goes. See how that pans out. I'm fine. But yes, I was going to talk a little bit about Moto Guzzi, and the reason for that is because I've never had a Moto Guzzi, but I have test ridden one. I test rode one. Thinking about it, it must have been before COVID now, so it was a while ago, and it was a V7 750, not the latest one, the 850. And I had a test ride in it, and I was a little bit meh about it. It didn't do a lot for me. I thought it was very nice. Obviously the vibration, which I was expecting and used to, because I had sat on a Guzzi before. The one I'd sat on before was the Grisso, which was a bike that I'd considered in the past. So I'd always had a little soft spot for them. But the Grisso, as it turned out, was just too big. It's quite a heavy bike, and it's quite tall in the saddle for me, being a short-legged person. But the V7 was perfect size-wise, and I thought I must try one. So yeah, but it turned out that it just didn't do a whole lot for me. I didn't really vibe with the bike. But that interest with them has never actually gone away despite that. And somehow I don't know why. Out there in the field there'll be flat tracking going on soon, I think. Yeah, I don't really know what my feelings are towards Moto Guzzi. I'm very drawn to them, shall we say, on paper. When I think about the brand, when I look at videos and look at pictures of the V7, I think they're a really good looking bike, particularly the new 850. They've improved the looks, in my eyes anyway, particularly at the back of the bike. The mudguard isn't as intrusive as it was. It just looks a little bit sportier, which I like. The upswept exhausts, a slightly different shape than they used to be. They all just looks a little bit sportier and a little bit nicer than the original V7, and I really like it. And I like the idea of it. The heritage is there, probably a greater heritage than virtually any other motorcycle you could think of. Still built in the original factory, and those red gates at Mandello, which you've seen, and we've all seen maybe if you've looked into the brand on videos. Every single Moto Guzzi comes out of that set of red gates that have been there since the brand began. So fantastic heritage. But why is it then that when I rode it, it just didn't quite at the time do it for me? But should I ride one again? Do I need to take the new 850 out, which has got that bit of extra torque and bit of extra power, which by all accounts is noticeable and does make a real difference? I think the answer is yes. I've got to actually try one. Because the other thing with Guzzis is the value for money. There's no denying the value for money, especially compared with their most obvious competitor, which is of course the Bonneville. The prices, as we know of which, have crept up and up. But I think when you compare the Guzzi, in particular the V7, to bikes like the Royal Enfield Interceptor. Now, I've got nothing against Royal Enfield or Interceptors for that matter, but in terms of fit and finish, the Guzzi really is on a completely different level. I think even a Royal Enfield owner would accept that. And yet the prices are now really close, very close. You can pick up a virtually unused 850 V7 for quite a lot of money off from new, and comes well into the realm of the Interceptor. And for me, there's not even a competition between the two bikes. The one is far more the Italian bike is far more premium, and for me a more interesting bike. But that's just a personal opinion. As I said, nothing against the Interceptor. I just hesitated a little bit there as that van pulled up, as you probably noticed. I always watch vans and cars as they pull up to a junction like that. As I've probably mentioned to you before, my accident that I had was that scenario exactly, pulled out in front of. As I've mentioned, I'm hyper vigilant. So yeah, that's the Moto Guzzi conundrum with me. It's a sort of it's a bike that I want to like. I want to fall in love with. I want to ride it and feel, oh yes. Because in terms of looks and everything else, and pride of ownership, it would be there for me, no problem. I'm really quite attracted to it as a concept. So I was a little bit disappointed before when the riding experience of the original V7 left me feeling a tad underwhelmed. So that's a test I think I must do. By the way, as I said at the start of the video, the leaves are now falling, as you can see. Autumn, there's a definite chill in the air. You can certainly feel that summer is tailing off now. And today, for instance, I've gone out with an extra layer on for the first time in quite a long time. It's a shame. There we go, that's the realities of biking in the UK. Before long the temperatures are going to drop to levels where warm clothing, heated grips and all those sort of things are going to come into their own. But we've still got a little bit of time left. I'm quite early this morning actually. I'm going to the CAF as is usual, find out what's happening. Don't know how many will be there today. It's a Friday. Could be a few, but I'm going to be one of the first, most likely. So I'm a little bit early. So that's it. Moto Guzzi V7 on my radar. Still, despite everything, I think it's a fact that sometimes a bike that you rode years ago and dismissed can come back round, and later on as your taste change you can actually think, no, that's really nice, I actually like that now. So I'm wondering whether that might happen with me. We'll see. It's another one for the list, the ever increasing list of bikes that I might have to partner the CL500. There we go. I thought I was early. I'm going to be the first here. It doesn't often happen. Right then, so off we go. And good turnout today. Quite a few of the lads have gone home, but still, as you can see, quite a good turnout. Nice weather, the sun's come out. Marvellous. So yes, well, right here was the scene of a nasty accident, I'm afraid, last week. Our friend Alan, who rides the Himalayan, who I've mentioned before, luckily he's alright. But had a very nasty accident where he stopped for a car that was pulling off the road, and another car hit him from behind. Quite a common and dangerous accident for a motorcyclist by all accounts. He was injured. He had to have his clothes cut off him on the road by the emergency services and taken to hospital, but luckily cuts and bruises only. But horrible situation for him. So we wish him a speedy recovery. We saw him today and he's in the car, obviously not riding. His bike's a write-off, the Himalayan. It just shows how careful you have got to be. And wary, although there's really little you could do about it when you get hit from behind, isn't there? So what with my forgetfulness and then accidents, it's all been a bit doom and gloom, hasn't it, today, apart from Moto Guzzi's, of course. But I'm sure things will be perking up soon, and we're all hoping for an Indian summer. Roy was just saying there he thinks it's going to be an Indian summer this year. It's all going to be lovely. We're going to have weeks more of beautiful weather. I think he's hoping more than anything. Apparently the official definition of an Indian summer, I did hear recently, was that it has to have we've had to have had a frost, so the weather got quite cold, and then have temperatures above a certain amount after that, and that then becomes officially an Indian summer. Of course we haven't had a frost yet, haven't got anywhere near that cold yet, so that may be yet to come. We shall see. A little bit more of a hold up here by the look of it. Now, we were discussing the cost of first services when we were at the CAF, and the first service on the CL, as I've mentioned before, was £145 I paid for it, and Roy with his 1100 Honda, roughly the same. But Aid, who runs the cafe there, has just bought a new Ducati Street Fighter, the V4, £23,000 worth of motorcycle, and we were wondering how much the first service on that is likely to be. You know, Ducati prices in general are expensive, but how much is the first service going to be on that bike, a bike of that huge initial cost? Is it going to be relative to that cost? Is it going to be sort of, for instance, maybe double what I paid for this, even though it's a very similar job that they have to do, which is basically an oil filter change and wire up to the computer, make sure everything's okay, and that's basically it. But how much are they going to charge? It'll be interesting. He doesn't know. He's got it booked in, and he said, I don't know how much it's going to be. So that will be interesting to find out. If anybody knows actually how much a first service is on a bike such as that, that'd be interesting to know. I'd be interested to know, sorry. So if you do know, just pop it in the comments. Is it can measure it with the cost of the bike. I hope for Aid's sake it isn't going to be, because it's going to cost him hundreds in that case. I'll certainly be interested to know. The thing is, how much can you charge for an oil and filter change and a check over before you're taking the mick? I know you walk into a Ducati dealership and you expect to pay more for the bikes, you expect to pay more for the accessories, and that's sort of accepted. It's half the course. You're supposedly getting a higher quality product or a more premium product, but does that relay also across to the cost of servicing? I don't know. But in this day and age, with costs rising on all fronts, I'm sure there's going to be some pressure on the Ducati dealerships to charge as much as they can in order to cover some of their costs, so who knows. Right, I think I'll get off the road and go down the lane here. Very busy today on the road. As you can see, the leaves are falling. Autumn is here. No doubt about it. Beautiful time of year in many ways. And I'm sure we'll get some more motorcycling in. You just have to change a little bit. You have to change what you wear to try and combat the cold. But I'm sure there'll be lots of nice riding to come still. I'll just turn down the top of the lane. And that's all from me. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for joining me on this little trip. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. Oh, the Rolls Royce is out. What an absolute beauty.